What's up, guys? It's Matt here. So today I'm going to give you a little introduction to the Google Web Designer. This is a software that I found just about a week ago. I've kind of been just messing around with it, trying to learn as much as I can. Still not too knowledgeable about it, but I've been trying to just create some HTML banner ads, just kind of messing around with it just to kind of educate myself on the software. It's definitely something that can be useful for any advertisers out there that want to make banner ads. Me being a marketing student at San Diego State University, I find it extremely useful, especially if you want to go into digital advertisements. Like I said, I just learned it about a week ago, so I'm still not too familiar with the software and just the layout of it, but I have a pretty good grasp on it where I can actually make some interactive ads. But today I'm just going to show you just some basic overviews of what the software can do. So to start things off, I'm going to go File and Create New. So like I said, a lot of people use Google Web Designer for ads. So you got banner ads, expandables, all that kind of stuff. So what Google Web Designer is doing, it's kind of like a Photoshop interface that allows you to create HTML, CSS, and JavaScript elements and functions and whatnot. So it's definitely ideal for the beginner if you don't know exactly how to code. It's an easy way to create HTML files, basically. So we'll get to it. I'm just going to name this just a demo 1. Okay. So getting to it, as you can see, it looks a lot like Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop. It can kind of be a little confusing at first. I've never really used Photoshop, so it kind of took me a while to kind of fully understand, like, okay, I have to do this before I can do that. So there's some nitty-gritty things that once you figure it out, you're going to be able to, be more fluent with the software. But till then, just kind of monkey around with it, figure it out, and you'll get the hang of it. But today I'm just going to show you some basics of what it can do. So first things first, here on the left, you kind of have the basic tools, much like Photoshop. You got the selection tool. You got the motion path tool. I'm not exactly sure what that is, to be completely honest. These are going to be, so one cool thing about Google Web Designer is it allows you to design in 3D. So these tools right here both kind of help to implement that 3D design. Here we got an element tool. So basically, I'll give you a little example right here. You can just create, like right now I'm creating just a div. So boom, we have a div right there. Here we got a pen tool, text tool. Go ahead and make a little text like, hello world. There we go. Then we got the fill tool. This is also kind of helps to design in 3D. This actually, I'm going to go ahead and throw on our 3D grid so you can actually move the entire project in 3D. So it'll basically help you to just design. So see, like I'm at almost a 90-degree angle on the project, and I can go ahead and create another div right here, and it's 3D 90 degrees to the existing element that I had. But that's for a different video. I'm just going to stick to the basics today. So you have that. You got the hand tool, you can grab, do whatever. I don't really use that. I don't know if many people do, but it's there if you need it. So I'm just going to go back to the selection tool. I'm actually going to turn these 3D grids off. So first things first, I'm going to show you how we can align this first initial div here, okay? So one thing you want to make sure, so let's say I want to center this div. You have your commands up here, you can center, bring it up to the top, you can center it, vertically center, you can bring it to the bottom edge, you can bring it to the left, center it, or bring it to the right. You can do a lot of stuff, but one thing that took me a while to learn was, I would click these and nothing would happen. I'd be stuck sitting here like, what the hell? Nothing's happening. What do I do? What sucks is there's not a lot of videos out there on Google Web Designer explaining how to use it. So I kind of had to just learn everything on my own, just kind of like mess around, click some buttons. So what I learned is you got to make sure that align to container is clicked. So it's going to be aligning to whatever container it's in. And that's really when these buttons start to work. So, you can bring it to the top, you can center it, you can bring it to the bottom, center it horizontally, you can bring it to the right, the left, all that kind of stuff. Bring it up, down, up again, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep it right there in the middle. If you go over here, you got your transform tool. You can move it around. You can resize it. If you notice, if the transform tool is off, it doesn't give you the option to resize it. So if you do want to resize it, you got to just make sure that transform tool is on. If you want to do it with your mouse. If you don't want to do it with your mouse and you actually have some dimensions in mind, you can go over here to the properties, little properties folder, or whatever you want to call it here, and you can actually go and change the size automatically just with width and height in pixels. So what you want to do is you want to make sure, if you want to keep the same ratio, height to width ratio, you want to make sure that little chain is selected, the little link. So let's say you want to just make it, 300 pixels wide. It'll keep the same ratio for the dimensions, but it'll like increase. So as you can see, the height went up as well. So that is pretty useful if you want to like resize images without manipulating how it actually works, because no one wants to see a stretched out version of a cat. It's just not something you want to be looking at, and it doesn't really help your viewer in any way. So I always just make sure that that's on, unless you're using it for a very specific reason. Okay, the next thing, as you can see, let's say I want to take this hello world text and I want to center it within this div. Let's say actually we want to put it all the way to the left over here. We want it just to sit right snug against the left of my div element. So as you can see, like I said before, we have our little buttons up here. You can center it, you can bring it to the right. So let's say I want to bring it to the left. I click left, but look what happens. It just brings it all the way to the left of my overall project. Now that's because when I actually initially created this text element, I did not assign it to this original div as a container. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to delete that. And when I want to create something within this div or to make this div the container, I'm going to double click within the div, make sure that div that I want is outlined in that reddish color. Okay, that means that that's selected. Now I'm going to go back over here to my text, and I'm going to create a new little text box. Okay, hello world. There you go. I'm just going to resize this really quick, and there you go. Center the text, and then let's say I want to bring it to the left now. There you go. See, now it's actually aligning to that specific container that it's in. So I'm just going to center it right there. And now, something cool, if I want to just move the entire div, now the text is going to be, nice and snug right in there. And it's just going to stay in there. Cool. So now I'm just going to show you some, I need to actually, let's see. I'll get into that another time. Okay. But as of now, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I'm going to, hold on, resize this really quick. And I'm going to create another little div element right here. Okay, so now we got 2 of them. So one cool thing, a cool thing about this software is Google tries its best to kind of help you out in any way possible. So see, when you're kind of moving it, it'll like say like, oh, like you're kind of near the center. Do you want this to be exactly in the center of that initial div? So it'll kind of create that line there. You can easily turn this stuff off in View and Snap. So turn Snap off, and you don't have any of that anymore. Now you just kind of get free range of motion with that. But let's say I want to have it on. So I can go ahead and just grab the side of it right here, and I can snap it to any other side of any other div or any other element. So as you can see, I'm just snapping it back and forth. And if you want to do that, but you want to have it perfectly aligned with that other element, you can grab the corner right over here, and it'll actually snap 2 other corners. So as you can see, like, it's not only just aligned right there on the sides, but that corner is also going to be completely aligned right there. So that kind of helps when you're creating very intricate advertisements or just projects in general, and you want a very specific location. You can also edit the location here on position. Let's say I want to have it like 200 pixels. That's off the screen, so let's just say 150. You got that right there, and you can make it 50 pixels right there, and you can kind of move it around like that. That's more so if you really, really want to have your elements in specific spots. But that'll come with more expertise in the software. But yeah, that's pretty much just an overview of the software itself. I know it's not much. I'm going to continue posting some videos. This is just my first video. So yeah, I'm gonna post some more in the upcoming weeks, just kind of describing what the software can do. I'm just going to try learning it as much as I can, and I'll keep relaying the information onto you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again soon.